welcome to Log Furniture How To, the most all-inclusive site on the net for log and rustic furniture, fixtures, and decor. That's logfurnitureHowTo.com. Hey everybody, welcome to the Send One Carpentry YouTube channel. My name is Scott Schaefer. It's a beautiful cold day here in Colorado, and today I'm working on kind of an experimental piece. So this isn't really a how-to because, to be honest with you, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of testing my abilities, I suppose, and trying to learn something new and create kind of a more artistic piece. So anyway, this is what I'm doing. I glue these up for bar stools, and I like them, but I want to tweak the way I do it. So I don't want to use these in the bar stools I'm making right now because they won't match future bar stools. So anyway, I had this really big chunk. This is actually just a quarter of the piece that I glued up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make cool little side tables. And I've cut a miter, a 45-degree miter on this end, and it's going to kind of just sit, and then the other one's going to sit like this. And I'm going to put a cool log underneath to hold as a third leg. Unfortunately, I'm not really equipped to be doing really fine millwork like this, and this really requires some accurate machines to make my cuts for me. So to help me out, I'm going to go over to Chris Williams' shop over at Rocky Blue Woodworks. He's got some fine millwork machinery there that can do a much better job than my hand tools here. So anyway, I'm headed over there, and he's going to help me out with this. So let's go see him. Alright, so we're down here at Chris's shop now, and Chris, what I need to do is I need to use your beautiful equipment to do some fine millwork. And you're the master at that, so I'm going to let you go.
Alrighty.
First thing is real important to square off one edge first, and then Chris is just going to barely skim a 90-degree edge to the first edge. And now we're going to come to length, and that'll square off the third edge. So now I've got 3 square edges. And lastly, we're going to put our miter cuts on there. And his saw is really good at this. It's just freaking perfect. Alright, right on, man. These look really good. Way better than I could have done in my shop. So,
yep.
What do you want for it? Your time?
Maybe just a couple of logs if you had any.
Just a couple logs?
Yeah, I need some like 5 inches by 7 feet for the project.
These work?
Oh yeah. Where'd you get those?
Oh, I just happen to have them, you know. Just kind of sitting around, so.
Sweet.
Take them.
You're my hero.
Alright, see you later. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do here back at the shop is sand each panel on both sides with 80 grit sandpaper, but I'm going to stay away from the edge, the miter edge, the outside miter edge. And then I'm going to sand the inside again with 120, the whole thing. I'm going to leave the edges alone for now too. Next we're going to glue it up, so just put a little bit of glue on the seam, on the miter cut, use some clamps to put it all together. And now I'm going to measure for where I want my screw holes to go. I'm going to put 3 on the top and 2 on the side. And they're going to be evenly spread from side to side. So what I'm doing is I'm drilling a countersink and I'm drilling a pilot so nothing cracks. And I'm going to use 3.5-inch gold screws to screw this thing together. I use a 7/16 drill bit for the countersink because I'm going to use 1/2-inch dowel plugs. Alright, so now we're going to sand the sides. I'm going to use 80 grit first, fill in any cracks with the glue. And we're just going to make sure that corner is nice and even where they meet up. And then do it over again with 120. Now we're going to fill the holes, the countersink holes, with our plugs, our 1/2-inch plugs. Fill it with glue, fill it with the plug, hammer them in. And then we're going to use 80 grit sandpaper to smooth them out. And again 120 to make it all nice and smooth. And we're going to sand the whole surface of this, of the outside side of the panels with 120. And then we're going to go ahead and sand the edges. You only need to sand the edge that's going to be exposed, so the top side of it, that edge you need to sand 120. But the bottom edge it's on the floor basically, it's the foot. You only need to do 80 grit just to make it look nice. And I'm not rounding off any of my corners or my edges. Alright, so now I'm going to cut the logs for the third leg. And I've got a little jig set up here to hold the log for me and to also guide the chainsaw so I can make a straight cut, or straight-ish. I know there are better ways probably to do this, but I don't have those tools, so. It's a redneck tool. Alright, so now we're going to sand my logs. First we're going to use 80 grit. Well, first you're going to peel the bark. Then we're going to use 80 grit sandpaper. And then 120 grit sandpaper. That's normal. I always do that. The deformity you see there is elk chew. So that adds some cool character to it. Thank you, elk. Alright, so now we're going to flatten the bottom first. I'm going to use my 80 grit to do that. I'm going to board just to make sure it sits flat. And a ruler. You want it to be flat and kind of level also. Well, as level as possible. Now I'm going to do the top with 80 grit, and I'm going to do the same exact thing. And now it's really important to make sure that it gets pretty level. Because you want it to sit flat to the bottom of the shelf and also to the floor. So now I'm measuring where it's going to be positioned. I'm going to go 2 inches in and center it. So I want my whole patterns to be 3 inches apart, and I want it to be a perfect triangle, and I want it to face the outside edge. So once you get the holes drilled, you do the countersink holes, sand off your pencil marks, put a little bit of glue in there, set your log on, screw it down. Pretty easy. And then just double check to make sure that it's sitting level, and if it's not, you can still sand off some more. So that's looking pretty good. Now fill up your holes. Again, I'm doing the 1/2 inch countersink. Sand them down with 80 grit, then sand them again with 120. Make sure you get it all nice and smooth, and there it is. Alright, so all finished. I freaking love them. I think they're pretty sweet. What I'm going to do is I got to put oil on them, obviously, and finish them up. And also I'm going to put feet on the bottom. There's going to be just a little plastic feet with the nail, and there's going to be one on the log in the middle, and I'll put one on each side of the board leg, or this leg, and that'll be like a tripod, so no matter where you put it, it'll always be steady. Anyway, they're all done. I love them. Thank you so much for taking this adventure with me. I hope you learned something. This is a really cool, pretty simple design, and easy to make if you have the machines that Chris has, or if you know somebody that has those machines, or if you want to order the parts. Heck, I will ship you the boards cut like this and glued up and everything, and then you can make whatever you want out of it. You just tell me what dimensions you want, and I'll send them to you. Gotta charge you for it, but we'll work something out. So leave a comment below, email me, Scott@SanJuanCarpentry.com. You can visit my website, SanJuanCarpentry.com. Hit me up on Facebook. Look for San Juan Carpentry. Yeah, that's pretty much how you get a hold of me. So anyway, also I'm going to be selling these tables. So if you want to just buy these tables, I'm going to put a price on the description right down below the video here. So if you want these, just give me a ring and I'll hook you up. But anyway, thanks again for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. The music you heard in this video was performed by Colorado pianist Lacey Black. To find out more about Lacey, you can visit her website at lacyblack.net or find her on Facebook.